大家好，我是鲈鱼。我们今天要玩这个游戏叫做艾迪芬奇的记忆。这个我在这几年一直有听到这个游戏，可是我一直都不知道它到底是什么，我也没有去了解它。我只知道它有拿到2017年的最佳游戏叙事奖，有被提名那个最佳独立。就是听说是一个蛮不错的艺术游戏啦，所以我就什么都不要去查，我就直接来玩玩看。我喜欢这种新鲜的惊奇感，好不好？我可以开始动了啊！画面很漂亮哦。好，按什么？R2。好，翻页。我从来都没有觉得自己的……等一下啦，你念太快了。我要从头开始探索这房子。我们都还没开始读。
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
11岁以前。在这种奇怪的房子。你好。
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent.
我按了 R2 之后，我要再用右类比往下，然后盖起来。我要用那个摇杆去控制。OK， 这个第一次玩的人可能会。
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
哥哥过世了。他的那个字幕出现的方式让我想到那个纵横谍海，出现在场景。
My mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
好，很多秘密哦。
Maybe she thought I'd know, or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
我可以往这里走，我也可以往这里走。可是我是要往哪里走？应该是都可以吧。哎呦，对不起，原来三角形也是按暂停。
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
遗印，动物已经废弃很久了，至少7年吧，可能不止，更多。你好 ，Hello。要怎么过去的？穿越术。
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it.
他已
But
经
now
继
I had
承了这栋
questions
房
about
子。
my family that only the house knew the answers to. The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
这什么奇怪的房子？这很漂亮这个房子。我其实也可以走下面，它一定都通得到。
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
很不舒服，对，对于 missing 哥哥失踪，都是哥哥失踪的海报，他该不会是意外身亡？
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
不用怕，我陪你，谁陪我？没有人陪我。来，转钥匙。
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
拨开。
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
好酷哦！它的呈现故事的方式很有趣。 它的视角可不可以？没关系，就这样。我们把它当轻松的游戏。因为我刚刚录 COD 的时候，给我档案出错，会气死了。所以前面的故事会停到第4集吧，先停一下，等我气完再录。
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
钻狗洞。这个游戏的界面非常干净，什么都没有。你可以开那个，可以把那个准星打开，那至少就不会3D 晕。
The power had been turned off the night we left. For the first time in years,
终于要进去这个房间了。
I felt like I was home.
2010年停在这个时候，这是2017年的游戏。很漂亮哎，我们帮他拍一张照，截图就好了。这样，刷一下。
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
这些锅碗瓢盆都洗得很干净。Chinese food.
Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot.
这是才不是真的 Chinese 哎。鱼。
Or how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Molly， 哥哥在这里工作，是哥哥吧？我们要认真的看这个游戏的故事。
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
我以为谁死了。哦，这里有一张轮椅。Eddie， 艾迪。
It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great Grandma Edie living in a nursing home. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
他真的很不喜欢这间房子耶，这间房子给他很多不愉快的回忆。可是它的画面很漂亮哎。
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
原来的房子沉没后留下来的，这个翻译应该没问题吧？听那个他讲英文，那也是正常的。好像看向某些指定的东西，他会讲故事。奶奶的椅子。
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
龙卷风。我们要先去这里吗？这边看一下，等下再去楼上。
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
爷爷打过仗，这里。
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
好，好，去2楼。
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
哦，跟着他走。
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Okay. 1950-1961 Kevin.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
每栋房子都要封起来，不，每间。妈妈是怎么了？疯掉了？这看起来好恐怖哦！等一下。Molly
always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947. I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
他的人好多哦，这边是怎样旅馆？
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
是不是像那个班杰明的奇幻旅程，很多人都会去住？我还没逛完呢，等一下，我可以离开吗 ？No.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets.
懂哎。
Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
等一下，等我一下，让我去看一下这里，看这边还有没有绕到的东西。
Edie's father Odin built the original house.
这个房子应该有超过100年了。
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
姑姑，2岁可以拍什么？婴儿用品。
Mom must have locked the 3rd floor stairs on the night we left.
Okay.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
有拍过这个 ？My friend Bigfoot， 我的大脚朋友。拍完之后就不怎么样了，听起来很像小飞侠的故事。Sad。有音乐了。
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan.
I have a plan. I don't have any plan.
But I had no idea what was behind that door.
这不是那个谁的房间吗？刚刚如果有从那个窥视镜看的话。
Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
对啊，这间 Molly 的房间。
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
这门可以关吗？帮我拍一下照。在这里，看起来真的很像桌布哎，都不动的话。海星，1947年停在这里，他的日历再也都没有动过。
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something
我换成 Molly
to eat.
了，啊，找东西吃。
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
他怎么会吃他的食物 ？The fuck？ 这里嘞？
My Halloween candy was all gone.
怎么会吃小仓鼠的食物？我
I
想
thought
过
about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Christopher， 他是不是乱吃东西过世的？好黑哦。
kept eating and eating.
是牙膏吗？确定呢？哎，bro girl， 不要这样。那天
I
晚
ate a
上，
lot of things that night.
他是不是乱吃东西才会过世啊？
Then I heard chirping outside my window.
我不能出去哦。
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest.
你好。
I reached out for her. And suddenly,
啊
I was a cat.
啊！什么？啊！啊！哇！我是猫咪啊！太棒了，猫咪游戏。
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
我是猫咪。然后跳。
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
那是假人。喵喵喵喵，放我进去。我不会摔死啊。我这里。我要接下来嘞。 哦，这里，然后吃那只鸟，这样，喂，吃，没吃到，吃，
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired.
哎，猫咪累了。
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
你这是只
I
猫
gobbled her up,
啊
and suddenly I was an owl.
啊！
First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
你有到吗？哦，我只能动左右，这样。
Rabbits.
Rabbit， 有没有？有没有抓到？抓！有没有抓到？兔子，兔子在哪里？我要跟着这个走。Rabbit， 兔子，猜兔子。
I imagined his face
等
looking
一下，
at
猫咪
me
会，
and seeing
别
mine
别别，
in my talons.
猫头鹰会吃兔子。
I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
猫头鹰会吃兔子。
A mama rabbit.
兔妈妈，这是食物链，对不起了。哎呦，
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
What the hell？ 变第三人称了，快点！ 哦
the
哟
cliff，and into the ocean。
那个人刚刚那台车已经杀小，怎么会有一只鲨？
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
海豹，会被吃了。
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
大鱼是不会整个吃掉的，好像是不会。我记得它是，但我记得它如果吃人的话，也只会吃一只手或一只脚。
I grabbed on tight, but I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
都变成了那个章鱼哥。
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
会吃人吗？
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
哦！哎，他怎么瞬间消失？
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
His belly 这个刺客教条教我怎么唱这首歌。吃掉你！
Passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new.
我要变成什么？
Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
哦，往上爬，那个酷酷的旋转。别的马桶，嘿嘿嘿。哎，怎么变得这么难控制？
I got closer and closer.
啊，是我自己。 是猫里耶！哎，我不能爬上去哦。
All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was
床底下的怪物。
I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
我起鸡皮疙瘩了，好可怕！
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
1937，他只活了10岁。再来是 Barbara， The Friends。OK。哦，对不起。我要怎么退出？啊，走出来了。
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Molly 不是她吗？
We got along, and it was a good place to hide from my mom. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
哦，哇，意外过世，木工做了很多。
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
Edie，你看她的房子还没有那么高哎。
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom.
那厕所也太可怕了吧！哦，我刚刚是从这边看进来的。
It was a pretty big trace.
好恶心哦！等一下，我刚还没逛好。
There's a secret in this bathroom.
Oh.
It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
哦，好酷！哦，等一下再进去，等一下再进去。哭了。
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
出去。可以出去，好，可以出去就好。我还要坐着洗澡。
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
哦。Barbara 1949 ，Molly 1943，大家的手印都在这里。Walter 冰刀。
Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune.
哦，对不起。
Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
是这个房子的原本的
But
人
40-foot waves off the coast of Washington
不是。
send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island.
Edie 跟 Steve 是夫妻，他们的小孩是 Molly。
Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
好，慢慢了解故事。但是我觉得我可能会有时候会
Whatever's wrong
记
with
不
this
住。
family, it goes back a long ways.
哦，要慢慢的了解啊，这个分支图我看懂了。Water 然后啊，没有先生的名字哦。我是最右上角最上面那个，已经有拿手机自拍的那个。哦，好，进去。这也太小了吧！好酷哦！等一下，不要蹲下。
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin.
Sam， 哪一个？哦，这里，爷爷。所以他的那个欧迪是他的曾祖父。
And that he never talked about him.
爷爷没有提起他的双胞胎兄弟。
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
OK。
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his
Sam
mind,
French.
that was it.
哦，我还是 Sam 的，哦，变成 Sam 了。打石膏。
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Calvin.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready!
Oh,
Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
等一下，让我下来。
I told him going around was impossible.
我要继续荡，是不是？
Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up,
怎么了？
then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it.
哦，
I think he'd already made up his mind.
好危险哦！天哪！
That's what I want to remember about my brother.
哦，我是 Kevin， 是不是？哦！
The day he made up his mind to fly, and he did.
Bro， 超 sad 的嘞！看，
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember
Oh,
trying
Carl.
to do the exact same thing.
好，有点 sad。
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
18岁走了之后就，哥哥走了，打击很大呢。Kevin 的回忆永远就冻在这里，然后当个太空人的小孩，能不能帮他拍一张？
passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
好，等一下，先走这里。大脚怪。
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
不是吗？ Happy birthday， 生日，生日蛋糕放在那边烂掉了，没有虫。
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
看很多书，这是什么？哦，他去那种餐馆上班，看起来是这样。餐馆的衣服过得蛮邋遢的。看一下。
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Oh, Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Oh, thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box.
Oh, how cool.
And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
怎么是这首音乐？月光光，心慌慌。
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
怎么是月光光，心慌慌？走开！好恐怖！
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
吃了他家人，天哪！ Bro， 超可怕的！啊！打死他！
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
又来了，又来了，是小鬼，搞什么鬼？旁边的那个图片剧透我。哎，我是要走这，不是？哎，是走这里吗 ？Walter 的房间呢？
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
什么？
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing.
什么？真的坏人吗？
He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Molly 的房间，可以从这边出去，对不对？
She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned.
打死你！打死你！
He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
等一下，这个该不会是他爸爸吧？是吗 ？Bro， 他都不见了。
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
可以一直打。
At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
是谁？
Oh dear.
是谁？
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true.
Huh?
Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl.
What?
She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard. But that's another story. As for Barbara,
What?
tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear.
What? What?
Now that's
什
what
么？
I call a
结束
real
了。
eerie tale.
What? What?
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Oh shit. 好。好。哇哦！天哪！1960。好，那我们可以去地下室了。
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
是不是变暗了？如果第一次就一直转，它会让我转。
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
破伤风，好，果然是受过伤。做工的地
I
方。
saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents.
Whoa!
It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
哇，好恐怖哦！有没有个灯？这个
I
灯呗。
remember asking Mom once about where
谢谢。
Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
This 这是谁 ？Walter。在2005年才过世。
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first
1968
day,
年。
after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week.
火车？为什么他在这边？
But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today.
为什么他要待在这里？
I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything.
为什么会有火车？
Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
所以伊迪都会拿东西给那个 Water 吃。
And then one day, everything just
2005年，其实他死掉的那一年，没有火车了。
whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid.
2005年。
It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
他离开了。他是因为阴影太深，所以一直住在这里嘛？觉得住在这边比较安全。好多书哦。
I know it's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly
Molly 对哦
and Calvin.
Calvin 还真的是诅咒。这边是要放垃圾的地方。那也是在这边解决他的大小便。
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
我靠！我靠！我靠！天哪！我要去自杀。
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
他一直住在这里哦。天哪，这故事好 sad 啊！
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
我觉得不要让，我不知道哎，这个感觉好奇怪啊。哦。Molly 也是被杀死的。然后 Calvin 是摔出去的，算是吧。 Barbara 也死了，大家都死了，大家都是莫名其妙。
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Water. Oh shit， 它在这里。Rest in peace, Water。然后拍一张。那怎么后来就没有了？没有火车了？
I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family.
我也想了解我的家族啊，我想看看我的族谱啊。
And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
突破第4道墙了，我现在很迷茫。
I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, at that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
I
think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it.
习惯死亡，这
What
一
kind
家
of
人
family
确实，
finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
这家人确实是很不幸的。
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Lucy, Coco, Louis， 你是念 Disney 吗 ？Stacy， 对不起。呀哈哈，这个
Sven
放过
built
去
the
就呀哈哈，
house,
对不对
but？it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
墓地是伊迪设计的。哦，好酷哦。Molly 是一只猫吗？不是吧？不是。Molly 养一只猫。Heaven， 他1964是谁？伊迪，2010年才过世的。Water， 2005对。Barbara， 1960， 那他是怎么过世的？
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
老房子是这一栋。 能再看了。OK。
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
大家都埋在一起。Sam 是阿公，对不对？看一下。Sam 的故事还没有出来。Kevin 1961，这是他的小孩吗？不是啊，他没有再回来了。1969年，不是，这是谁 ？Guess， 这两个人是谁？
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
22周的身孕，我怀孕了。确定呢？这个时候才讲。
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
我是1999出生的，我有遇过任何一个，我这有一个 DAWN 怎么念 ？Dan 是吗？
They were both pretty intense. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Oh, 先看星。Damn， 这有戒指哎。
Dawn, I promise.
Dawn.
You'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
These memories are going to last a lifetime.
Hmm?
Perfect.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything? It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit.
哎，好看的。
Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
剑在哪里？
Aw.
啊，不是
You're
拍
right,
照
Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee. Hey!
快单尿尿。
That's a keeper. Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I'm just saying, I'm not always going to be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff. If you
放
want to
是
survive.
我的，是
I'll be
Sam 的
fine,
小
Dad.
孩，
You know who else thought he was going to be fine?
Some guy who died.
是不是
Dawn, I'm
是
being
不是
serious.
主角的爸
No,
爸？
Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years.
要完全聚焦的东西才是他要拍的，应该吧？
Last time I was with my brother Calvin. That was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. Don, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time.
Dad!
Good eyes, Don.
No!
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of it.
Dad, I...
哦，是女，哦，她是她女儿。
Imagination. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Don!
Wow!
I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay?
哦，好，我要动，对不起。
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
still...
normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
哦。
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
这个游戏会弄哭我。哎。真的，都是意外死掉的。哦，那里有一扇门，等一下。
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
"好，我现在开始越来越搞懂这些家族谱了。 Dom 是 Jen 的女儿。
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Oh, 这是谁的房间？ Gets 这个名字我不会念。他只活了1岁。是什么
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
澡。
Hold on, sweetie.
Hello?
继续洗澡。
Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
不会吧？不会吧？不会吧？不会吧？
I wish you. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
嘿，是 Sam 的老婆吧？我的妈呀！哎，哦 ，K 有没有写 ？N 跟 K。Water。一点没出来。下一个是店已经不住这
I
里。
can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet.
Gets。我看一下。好，换 Gets。送给 Gets 的一首诗。
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
他宁愿死也不愿意看到我们在院子里举办婚礼。
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that I
now pronounce you husband and wife. Make his bride.
这是 Sam 的第二春。 应该是。开。
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Gets. Fuck you.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
Whoa!
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
Bro, 太难过了。
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
OK。再来换下一个 Dan。Down， 对不起 ，Down。他的3个小孩住一起。Be a baby.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Sanjay， 哦 ，Dem 是我的妈妈 ，Sanjay 是我的爸爸。
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English.
印度，
Lewis
我
was
是
born a year later.
印度出生的，不是，印度混血。
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
等一下，妈妈2016年过世。但我们是妈妈 ，OK。然后，现在的年份应该是2017。这些人都没有那么，伊迪还没有，伊迪也是很晚才过世。
And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last. beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
伊迪做的。
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Milton 没有写过世的日期。哦，对不起，过头这里。
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
因为画画是一件好事，但我没有什么天分。Molly。魔笔小
Milton
画
Finch
家。
in The Magic Paintbrush.
好可爱啊！哎，好强哦！哦，我的右手食指会一直震动，很酷。哎，我可以停。啊，没了。好厉害哦！画中画，好酷的。Molly。
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
4岁的时候失踪，没有写上2003年呢？为什么？没有写1992，还是他们不相信他消失了？因为他只有失踪，应该是这样，我猜了。
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out. Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
2010年故事。
Everyone always told me to stay out of Louis's room. Except Louis.
哇，weed， 很嗨耶！这个人懂哦。 我很好奇他们每个人的房间现在是什么味道。
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
哦，这个人有周大妈，很棒。电动。
Louis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
哎，这个是 PS1 的那种记忆卡吧？现在是模仿 PS1， 但是没有版权。这个电脑好旧哦对啊，那个是什么时候？2010，我们推2000年，差不多是那种。对，确实是那种电脑。
Dear Mrs. Finch, As Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
Okay.
He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew past himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander.
那我可以用左手控制这个人，然后用右手控制这个鱼，我要继续工作，跟我在上班上班偷懒。
He said he started small.
我可以边思考边做事。
He'd feel his way about.
可以，等一下。
Then something moved. Bats.
Bats.
And toads.
蟾蜍。等一下我有幻想症是不是？
He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
妄想症吗？是跟这个有关吗？我可以不要切鱼吗？那我还是继续切。
I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee.
当然啦
tireless, focused.
我非常的专注在切鱼呢，有没有
Like a whole new Lewis.
那我还可以这样。
So I let him go on.
鱼嘞
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first.
鱼
He told me he'd made a new friend.
Hello， 耶，你好，我要叫你白白，来，白白走，走。
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Csokoládétündér. He built the city up slowly, brick by
Hello，
brick.
我叫你大白。
Then he made musicians.
Hello， 我叫你二白。太多人了，我举不完。
And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band.
诀窍就是我的手要一直放在这边，然后只要往右往上就
And
好
he。was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger.
想象力不好吗 ？Hello。
He no longer spoke at the cannery.
沉默寡言，废话，我在玩呢
His。trouble was as reliable as ever. Then one day it
那
struck
我就是切鱼工，我需要认真什
that
么？
all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won.
哎，噔噔噔噔，
They
耶！
begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering.
听你们借过，我需要
It
去旅
became a
行。
game for him.
请你们走开。
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on.
那我要怎么样征服这座城市？
New
这样就好
Louisville.
了。
St. Louis.
St. Louis。
He started drifting away from our reality.
远离现实。
Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
哦，我就永远在这
Even
边。
as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept
好可
saying,
怕哦！我变成接鱼机器的一部分了，疯掉了。
In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a
听到了一位俊俏的皇后，
handsome queen.
俊俏的皇后是 T 吗？对不起，我没有什么意思。但是我不知道他的 handsome 通常
The
是
queen was
指
on
男
her
生。
own quest for
他在追彩虹，
radiant rainbows.
白痴啊，撞到了！不好意思，等一下，我已经忘记切鱼了。
He followed the
我
sound
要
of
我要当
her
好员工。听到了银竖琴，
silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon.
哦，这个选择会有差吗？
Even then, his logic remained sound.
我继续切鱼。
He knew the world was all in his imagination.
不长怎么样？哦，
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
哇，这么伟大！天哪，我的幻想好屌哦！
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
怎么样？幻想真是想到发疯哦！真的会有这种症状吧？我觉得这很 real 哎，很可
My
怕。
imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
argue， 我一直以为 argue 是台语。What？ 我不是要变成我的皇后呢？她回家了哦。我的大妈贵。我带
Began
电
to
动。
forget the world we know.
怎么样？这些鱼都我切的，厉害吧？
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
他不想要成为这种人。可是他是什么问题？他没有办法做其他的事情吗？哎，这是我哎
He。began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
他发疯了，好可怜啊！优秀拿 pass。我帮你切，我也想切。哦，这边可以上去。
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
等一下，我拍照。 等一下，我先等右上角那个消失。好，然后那个，我成为国王。
The palace would be packed with his companions.
你们好，是我。是猫咪。
Including the wise calico who'd insisted on inviting him.
智者三色猫，那猫咪的眼睛怎么？猫里，对，猫里是一只猫，确定呢？猫里到底是不是猫？不是吧？还是他养的那只猫也叫猫里？猫里养了一只猫叫猫里 ？I don't know。
Waited, holding his crown.
他长得很 handsome 吗？这看起来很不妙你们看，这是断头台吧？
Bend down his head. I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
我说不出任何话，太冲击了。
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
他抽蛮多大妈的，那桌上都是，这个是 pipe。他是不是抽太多了？不应该跟那个没有关系吧？还是这是拿来治疗的医疗用的东西？那四处都有，他很嗨耶！我不知道啊，应该是他有忧郁症。可是他为什么会有忧郁症？我不晓得。
My mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie.
哦，伊迪为什么要这么晚才跟伊迪讲？过得去吗？哦，这里。
I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
哦，开门。
I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
90岁生日，看到伊迪了，应该是那个，应该是伊迪。 妈妈的书是吗？这是谁
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
这鸟的形状。
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
呀，有没有别的东西？哦，我看看。
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together and all our final nights.
他们搬走
Grandma, you know what I
，2010
said
年搬
about
走。
alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles.
为什么刚刚那个
When
伊
my
迪
mom
的
sailed the library,
英文
I
单
don't
字不
think
太
she
一
knew
样？
about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
现在是我小时候。
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories.
为什么他说伊迪斯？我是伊迪斯吗？哦，对，我是伊迪斯，他是伊迪啊。我的后尾音的单字跟他不一样。OK， 他想要告诉我。
I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight.
妈妈觉得我们受到诅咒
We'll
了
have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
觉得阿嬷有点疯掉了。都是你这些蠢故事害我们的所有人都死光。也不晓得，有些故事也是伊迪自己讲的，他们也没有。
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
往前走。
I got turned around.
Yeah. 哦，我迷路了，救命！
For a while, I wandered.
一讲完就迷路。
I started seeing things.
你好。
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed.
宝贝，让那个石头吓到我。
But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
Huh?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car.
哦，我没有看完故事。
I never saw Great Grandma Edie again.
妈妈。
The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone.
Oh?
After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it.
哦，可以自己动。
A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you.
身体里面吧。
But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone.
哦，一开始
I want
的
you
人
to
是
be
伊迪丝
amazed
的小
that
孩。
any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
哦，2017年。我玩完了。哦。说不定这个真的是什么真实的故事去改编的，但是感觉好像蛮 real 的。我真的玩完了。哦，不错的游戏呢。它就是一个流程，走完就结束了，完全没有任何的打斗，你就是专心的看故事，很不错。没有太多的想法，没有太多的应该是说这个故事有蛮让我感动到的。好像有些人没有去找到，还是怎样的啊？没有啦，这些人应该是制作人的小时候。好，那我们就让他自己静静的播完。谢谢大家的收看，鲈鱼，我们下次见。